Hello. Hello, everybody. Sorry I took a little while. Thank you very much, Kidiva, for the Akasupa. Thank you very, very much. That's really appreciated. It was crazy. Yeah, I know. The unexpected rain. Yeah, no, literally, I was really scared by the rain as well. I didn't know where the fuck it came from. Also, I'm beak today. I fancied being beak today. So yeah, that happened. Dorma's World Fuffa Family, thank you very, very much. I had a really, really good time. And I'm sorry, I'm very sorry about the delay. I don't know why, but when the stream ended, I suddenly got very like, like I felt I felt really accomplished, and I giggled to myself, you know, because of the blue bowling at the end. But then when it stopped, I just felt really anxious for some reason, and that was why it took me a while to like come back. Like something just sort of like whoa, like took over me, and I felt really like weird and upset for a little bit. But then I think I realized that the best way to make myself feel better would be to just reconnect with reality and chat to you guys for a little bit. So that's what I'm going to do. Nana77, thank you for the Akasupa. I love you too. Benny, thank you very much for the Akasupa. I love you too. Yeah, the tech issues at the beginning were a problem, but I'm glad that most people stuck around and still managed to enjoy it. And thank you very much, Jan Chestnut, for the Akasupa. Good, you've learned your lesson. I also came online because I just kind of wanted to like chit chat a little bit about some stuff I've been seeing, because I'm aware that we went a little far today. I don't think we really went as far as the dragon ASMR, but I think this topic sort of drew a lot of attention that otherwise people might not have seen. Like the dragon one in my mind is still by far the worst morally. Like it's definitely way more fucked up than this one. But a lot of people have been saying some things, and I think all I want to say is the fact that, you know, I don't want anyone to feel pressured into watching anything that I make. I know that not everyone is into the things that we had during that stream, and I'll tell you who's also not into it. Me. I don't like NTR at all. I really don't. I came up with the whole, like, family plot line because I thought, oh, you know, that's a nice spicy twist, and at the end of the day, I'm acting. It's not real. I'm not into that myself. I just sort of thought, you know what, it might be fun and some people might like it, and I'm aware that some people are into that, and I thought, you know, I'll throw them a bone. And I figured, you know what, that'll be good. And that was that. I didn't really think about it beyond that. I just sort of wanted to make something fun for people. But yeah, it was a weird experience. I'm also just trying to remember what gear setup I need for this for this bit of content. I'm doing a Slayer task. I'm doing demonic gorillas today. Yes, we are fighting gorilla. Oh, Jesus! Somebody leveled up in the game. I thought someone was outside. Jesus Christ! But yeah, that's why I put that warning at the beginning. The warning is there because I'm aware that not everything expressed in those ASMRs is to everyone's taste, and if something makes you uncomfortable, I want you to feel like you can leave. You know, it's not for everybody. I mean, I'll tell you something, I don't even enjoy ASMR myself. I don't listen to it in my spare time. I've checked out some fucking Gone Wild audio, but it doesn't really have the binaural effect, so it's not really for me, to be honest. I don't really go for it. I think I enjoy doing it and I'm good at it because I can bring a pretty fresh perspective. You know, I can just do it in my own way without really worrying about the other stuff that happens. Yeah, that looks good. Slayer helmet. So the last thing I would ever want is for someone who watches to feel like that sort of content, you know, where the main character is a fucking homewrecker or whatever, that they feel like, oh, I need to watch this to support my Yoshi. You don't. You really, really don't. And I would feel pretty heartbroken if someone said, yeah, I watched it and then I wound up feeling sad. I'd be like, man, you know, don't do that to yourself. It's a different kind of content that's not for everybody. And I'm not really worried about the whole YouTube side of things because in my opinion, we've done worse before. I still think the Dragon one is worse. I guess it doesn't feel as bad because it's less real. It's a fantasy universe with some giant monster, so it doesn't feel bad. And this one could be a lot more real. You know, and maybe it is real to some people. Maybe some people listening actually did wind up in that kind of an experience, and it was traumatic for them, and that's valid. You know, everything that you felt, if that did happen to you, is completely normal. But people cope with trauma in different ways, and some people would want to stay as far away from that kind of thing as possible, and then some people would want to use a sexual outlet to try and cope. Both of these are valid as long as they're done in a sensible way. And, you know, what I would ask to the people who would want me to stay away from certain topics: who are you to tell other people what they can or cannot enjoy in a sexual context? I mean, some people find it to be a very valuable tool to healthily surpass things that have made them upset. And I enjoy being someone who can help people overcome aspects of their lives that have come to rule them. You know, I never want someone to feel like they've lost their chance at being normal, you know, especially considering I'm going through my own process of being diagnosed at the moment. I never want someone who's been through something terrible to not be able to find healthy, happy, normal ways of processing something. And I saw a great tweet recently which was like, the Vox ASMR is the best way of having, you know, an unhealthy relationship without actually having one. And that's the point. It's not real. It's roleplay, and it says that at the beginning. I am an actor. You know, we don't like try to cause problems for actors when they star in films and they play the villain, you know. And I think there's largely been a very huge, there's this denial that fiction is fiction for a long time, and a lot of people think that if themes represented in fiction are problematic in some way, that is somehow the fault of the creator, that they are promoting what they're suggesting, and I'm not. I never want for someone to be put in that situation by a teacher. We watch, I mean, nobody watches porn with porn acting and thinks it's real. Nobody watches porn and thinks, oh yes, this is how the world works, unless, to be honest, you're far too young to understand. Nobody thinks that that's real, and so we can enjoy those aspects of it while understanding that there is a healthy separation between the real world and the fake. And if you can enjoy aspects of the fake world and then go back into the real one and realize that it wasn't real and you don't have to worry about it, then there's nothing to worry about. Of course, if anyone is upset by it, I am sorry, and hopefully you feel better soon. But if this is how you feel, I will never try to take that experience away from you, but all I can say is that I would recommend not watching any more of my ASMR, because it can go places like that. Sometimes I come up with ideas to do something like the dragon one. Kind of came up with the idea to do the NTR in that ASMR during it. You know, I didn't really have a plan in advance. I just kind of went for it. And I don't want someone to walk into that experience and then get jump scared by something they're not ready for. It's why the warning is there. The warning is always there to inform you that yes, should not ever be viewed by anyone under the age of 18. And even still, people over the age of 18 may not enjoy the content of it, in which case I would encourage them not to watch it ever. I would very much encourage them to leave it alone and to go and find something else to enjoy, because there is so much out there that isn't of that flavor. But the truth is, I knew that a lot of people really wanted that kind of story, and I wanted to give it to them. To me, it's a tragedy for a content creator to be limited in what they can create because they're afraid of, let's be honest, less than devastating consequences. You know, making a few people upset online is not the worst thing in the world, and I've made plenty of people upset online, so I think for my money, I'm all right with it. As long as honest, good people who don't enjoy this kind of thing feel as though they can leave, because they can, and I never want someone to feel hurt because they didn't want to watch something like that. Also, there's been a bunch of Akasupas that I missed. Hold on, let me... Oh, shit. Must make sure I don't die here. Boring. Jesus Christ. Yeah, these guys are tough. These guys they swap. They have protection prayers on, which means that they don't. Which means that some attack styles won't work on them, and you need to kind of switch weapons on the fly. And they can switch. They can switch those prayers really often. Right, hold on. I'm quickly gonna log out so I can check the supers and make sure that I haven't missed anything, and don't die halfway through. Thank you very much for the generosity, by the way. Thank you very much to Aura for the Akasupa. Thank you, Haru Toast. Thank you very, very much for the Akasupa. Never had such a satisfying experience. For my sexual preference has always been frowned upon. See, that's what I'm talking about. Nekosaka, thank you very much for the Akasupa. Glad you enjoyed the plot. Grace Lily, thank you for the Akasupa. Salmon, Italian Love Cake, and Metalicious, thank you very much. Jan Chestnut, thank you for the Akasupa. I'm glad you enjoyed it. BB-chan, thank you for the Akasupa. The plot is so hot it surpasses any Teacher Ed student NSFW script you've heard before. Well, that's good. Glad I could surpass your expectations. Pei Ying, Shussy Sam, thank you. A safe space for an outlet of dark fantasies. Exactly. Thank you. Balmy Laurel and Eva, thank you so much as well. And I like that aspect to it. Jenny Alex, thank you for the Akasupa. I really appreciate all the hard work you put into all of this. Thank you. Yeah, it is pretty hard work to get everything working and then to act, you know, stay in character during it. Angelina, thank you for the Akasupa. I think that's why I felt so anxious when I ended it, because I was so thoroughly in character. I kind of just, I never really think about myself while I'm doing ASMR. That's it, I'm just acting, you know. I become a character and I forget about it. Hold on a minute. Hold on a goddamn minute. There is a bot. There is a goddamn bot. Let me get rid of that son of a bitch. Where the fuck is it? Where the fuck is it? Thank you for suggesting that my ASMR is the best, but I do have a lot to learn still. I do have a lot to learn. Oh! Raymo is here. Thank you very much for hiding that. Thank you so much for taking care of the bot for me. Yeah, chat is more down bad than the bot. It's like... Yeah, no, I'm just really glad that I'm able to kind of go a little bit more risque with my content and do something a little bit silly that you guys still enjoy. I'm not here. I was never here. Enjoy the stream. Probably just wanted to check up on all the chaos. Phil Cat, thank you for the Akasupa. Don't worry, baby. We all understand it's just fictional. That's good. Yeah, and I don't want anyone walking into this and believing that I'm genuinely trying to say that that sort of a relationship is good and healthy, because it's fucking not. I would never want someone to be in a situation like what that teacher puts the listener in. Thank you, Joksan, for the Akasupa. Oh my god. Oh no. Oh dear. What should I tell the kids? Nothing is wrong. I just got stuck in the closet. I got stuck, but I'm out now and I'm playing my favorite game. That's exactly what happened. Oh wait, I haven't shown the game. Shite. He's doing magic now, yeah. So there's 3 different attack styles, and you've got to change your own prayers to deal with it, and you need to change your own weapons to deal with his protection prayers. So it's a bit of a hassle really to deal with. But the reason why I'm killing these guys is because I have a Slayer task to kill black demons. These guys count as black demons. These guys count as black demons, and they have a chance at dropping a Zenite shard, which is used to make the highest level of jewelry you can make in the game, and they are very expensive. I believe they're somewhere near 10-12 mil, although the market has been changing a lot recently, so I'm not 100% sure. Maybe I'll make another ASMR where he gets caught and then you meet lawyer Vox Akuma. That would be fun. Wow. Luluwelf, thank you for the Akasupa. Am I too strange? I love the ending so much that I can't stop laughing. I'm glad you found it funny. If you enjoyed it in any way, I think that makes me pretty happy. Ooh, predicted. It's satisfying to kind of predict the kind of attack he's going to use next correctly. 2, 3. That's ranged again. Yep. I'm a genius. I know this gorilla's every move. 2. Thank you for all the Akasupas, everybody. 3. And that's melee. Vivian, thank you for the Akasupa. Really glad you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun too. Ooh, very nice. Oh, this guy's well prepared. 1, 2. They change attack styles for every 3 incorrect attempts, and if he walks towards you to close the gap, he's going to use melee next. Otherwise, it's ranged, or whichever one he just didn't use. Bada bing. One, 2, 3. Magic. Nice. Melee. 3. Oh, ranged. Okay, we're good. Very nice. Alright, to be honest, I can't really concentrate on these guys at the moment. I just want to chat with people, so I think I'm gonna do something more relaxing. Probably just gonna do some wood cutting. Feng Shi Mu, box and vol torture. The ending has me The part where you spanked us and laughed was funny. That's good. I'm glad I could make you laugh. Alvin K, thank you. Black Cat, thank you. Yui, thank you very much. And Lady Lily, thank you for the Akasupa. Yeah, I'm gonna need to practice some aftercare tonight, because, you know, like I said, I'm not a fan of NTR. It's not my thing. I like acting, and that's the thing, is that I can act like I'm into something I'm not actually into. That's the beauty of being an actor, is that you don't need to act, is that you don't need to enjoy what the character enjoys. You just need to get into character. And I was in character the whole time. So in character, in fact, that I sort of got really anxious when I went out of character, because then I felt more like myself, and I thought, oh, I wouldn't do that, you know? But it made me happy, definitely, very, very happy, to know that, you know, a lot of people wanted to support me afterwards. Yeah, I'm gonna do some wood cutting in my lovely... Do I still have my infernal axe? That's good. I got this for a hard clue step. Master clue step, sorry. Wait a minute, what's my current... Oh, it's thieving, isn't it? No, I don't really want to do thieving right now. I just want to relax. I'm gonna do some wood cutting. So sorry, thank you for the Akasupa. Rain will keep that secret between the professor and student, but I still can't recover from the moment when Prof taught me to write a reference. Ticket Fun, thank you very much. I think next week I want to do something more plot heavy, maybe something night-ish. I'm not sure. Something a little less risque. Or maybe a little risque, but more kind of interesting, and with music and, you know, all that kind of stuff. Because, you know, I do get anxious when I do sussy stuff. It takes me a while to kind of get into the mood. Did you enjoy the spanking? Oh, yes. I think pretty much every aspect of that, apart from the NTR, I am actually very much into. I mean, like, the power dynamic, even though completely amoral, is definitely fun to think about. And the, what is it? And all of the BDSM stuff is also just really, really fun. It's like I have to act, but only so much. You know, I do get off on it. I do have fun. Okay, I need skills necklace. Wonderful. You know, actually, what do I need to upgrade my jewelry box? Is it in here? Jewelry box. Storage. Because the jewelry box is a good. Ornate jewelry box level 91. I can build that with T. 2 gold leaf, 8 amulet of glory, and 8 rings of wealth. That's glories. What about the fancy jewelry box? Hang on a minute. Lace, thank you for the super. Story was impeccable. Oh, good. You also don't like NTR, but stay because of the story and plot. That's good. I'd like to imagine it was still somewhat hot at the same time, even if it's not everything you're into. 81 slaps. Pog. Glad someone was keeping track. Alright, hold on. Construction, stat boost, OSRS. Temporary skill boost, construction. You need a cup of... Alright, I've got the trimmed cup of tea and the crystal saw. That's 6 levels. That gets us up to level 90. So how did I do that last time? Crystal saw and a cup of tea is 6 levels, but I'm level 84. How did I build... Hang on a minute. How the fuck did I build my portal nexus then? Unless... Oh, I don't think I have the highest level one yet. Right. Okay, so I'm able to build just below. Right. Okay. So what I need is enough to build this one. Where is it? Storage. Not the ornate jewelry box, but the fancy jewelry box. I can do that with my crystal saw, gold leaf, combat bracelet, and skills necklace. Basic. Right, I've already got the basic one. So I just need a gold... Alright, let's go to the Grand Exchange. Let's get that shit. Gold leaf. Beautiful. I know I've already drunk my tea, guys. It's okay. My voice sounds like this because I'm just keeping quiet because the ASMR mic don't want to blow your ears out. Margaret Yoon, thank you for the super. Jihan, thank you very much. Meowie, thank you. The scolding for being unmotivated that was real for me. I kind of felt bad because I wanted to be all degrading and all sexy and being like, yeah, you're worthless, blah, 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 blah. But then some people were like, man, this is too real. And I kind of felt bad. Alright, so now I need skills necklace. I need 5 of them. I'll take 6, why not? I need some of those, and then I need... Is it a ring? It's a combat bracelet. Gotcha. Combat bracelet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beautiful. Alright, and then we get my crystal saw. Where is that? Bada bing. We get my hammer. And then we're all ready to go. Professor Tenchi would never do something like this. Nah, Professor Tenchi would have done something sooner. He's difficult to wrangle, difficult to reckon with. Okie dokie, let's building mode. Building mode. Building mode on. Yeah. Tenchi is a sussy man. Upgrade. Huh? I got my crystal saw, buddy. 51 charges left, buddy. Oh, they specifically need 4 Oh, wait. I forgot to unnote them. Shit. Alright, hold on. I forgot to unnote them. Thank you, Kinoko, for the Akasupa. Yeah, I need some aftercare right now. I really need some aftercare. That one really took the wind out of me. I mean, I don't want you guys to think that I need to stop doing this kind of thing because, like, it genuinely does make me happy. I like to act, and I like to put myself in a different situation, and I like to do something in the context of acting that maybe I wouldn't ordinarily do. That's what actors do, and I have a real respect for acting as a profession. But that doesn't mean aftercare isn't nice. I could definitely do with resting my head on someone's chest and getting my hair kissed and being told that I did a really good job. That would be quite nice. I don't know, just putting little kisses in my hair and giving me compliments. I definitely need some aftercare at the moment. Delightful. Fancy jewelry box. Thanks for the super, Mars. Thank you for the Arc Super. Soft hug and forehead kiss. Thank you. Mwah. I love you too. Thank you so much. Glad you guys think I did a good job. Yeah, I'm definitely not the type to immediately after finishing just to walk over to the window and smoke a cigarette and forget that anything ever happened. I physically can't make myself do that. I need love. Arabella Hiroka, thank you very much for the super. Actually studying for midterms. I mean, hopefully it motivated you in some way. Boom ba da bum bum. Bum ba da bum bum. Bum ba da bum bum. And we can go straight to the Woodcutting Guild with as many charges as we want. That was a big upgrade that I've just been neglecting to use for a while. Olivia, thank you for the X super. I found myself like a coward enjoying these crazy kinks but unable to speak up. I really like the closet scene. Glad you like it. And Evelyn, thank you for the Aka Super. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think that's the simple fact of it, is that I get that kind of context isn't something everyone enjoys, but a lot of people do enjoy it. And there was this one tweet, and we know the person who made the tweet, and I can't remember who exactly it was, and they're welcome to come forward and take credit. But there was someone who just came out and said like, I really hope that he hasn't been turned off of the idea of doing the teacher-student ASMR forever. You know, I hope that all those TikTok kids who tried to cancel him, I hope they have rocks in their beds or whatever it was. And it was that moment that I decided, you know, I don't want to let anyone tell me what I can or cannot do. But the thing is that like, I don't want, I saw someone else saying that like, just because we're not okay with it doesn't make us TikTok kids. And you're right. There was a large percentage of people very much under the age of 18 who didn't. It was Tsukiko, yes, a very long-standing member of the Kindred community. There were a lot of people who were standing up against this kind of ASMR happening. Were the kind of people who aren't supposed to be watching it, too young to understand it, but just old enough to use the internet and to cause a lot of problems for people who just innocently wanted to enjoy a kink they had. What harm is there in trying to enjoy something that in the context of fiction is completely harmless? It'd be harmful if it was real, but I hate to break it to them, it's not real. And that's the thing that I want people to understand. I don't want anyone who doesn't enjoy that type of content to sit back and feel like, oh God, you know, I need to watch this or I'm uncomfortable because, and I don't want anyone else to feel like I'm bullying them because they don't like it. Everyone has preferences, and including myself. I don't like NTR either. I really don't. I would rather not have to deal with a situation like that in my real life ever. But some people find it fun. Some people enjoy the risk factor. Some people think it's fun. And even though they would never want to engage in anything like that in real life, they can still enjoy a little bit of it and have some fun. So where's the harm in that? If you don't like it, I want you to leave it alone and to take care of yourself, and remember that these streams will still be here, and you're welcome to just have only one or maybe more that you never want to watch. All I can say is that I hope that the community kind of rests easy, you know, and that we can all have respect for one another. And to remember that just because someone doesn't enjoy a certain thing that we express, especially during ASMR, just because someone might not enjoy one thing that we do, doesn't mean that there's some kind of TikTok kid who's trying to cancel me. That isn't how it works. And at the same time, just because someone did enjoy it doesn't mean they would NTR somebody in real life. There is nuance and there is a gray area to everything. And so please, what I'd like to ask all of you, everybody listening right now, if you respect me and you want this community to be a nice, happy place, please leave each other be and try to respect each other's preferences. If you don't like ASMR, don't watch the ASMR. If you do like the ASMR, don't make anyone watch it who doesn't want to watch it. Be respectful. And if anyone who's not a Kindred tries to come in and tries to start any shit, tell them to go web and leave it alone, okay? Because at the end of the day, what a lot of people who will hang around on social media and try to get a reaction out of you, all they want is a little bit of attention. It's not always true. Sometimes, you know, problems can happen for bigger reasons and then maybe I have to get involved. But a lot of the time, someone who self-identifies as a hater wants attention. And if you give it to them, they've already won. So just stay by yourselves, be with your friends, and stay calm, and remember that what you enjoy isn't inherently wrong, and what you don't enjoy doesn't make you weak. Okay? That's all I really wanted to say. I don't want anyone to feel like I'm somehow making some advanced political statement by having a very racy ASMR stream. I'm just trying to give people some crumbs, and to have fun playing a character who's nothing like my real self. Well, you know, apart from enjoying BDSM, you know, there is that part of it, but, you know. Thank you, Drow. Thank you, Pei-chan. Thank you, Xtina. Very kind of you guys. If every Kindred gives you a kiss, you'll become bald. Thank you. Thank you very much for the super. I really appreciate you guys trying to help me feel better. And I feel like I would have stayed feeling bad if it didn't go live this evening. You know, if I stayed where I was and I just kind of wallowed, I think I would have felt very vulnerable. But being around you guys always makes me feel very happy. Viego, thank you for the X super. Did I miss you? I'm so sorry. I genuinely thought I got all of them. Just want to say thank you for your stream and give you a big kiss. Thank you. And you didn't need to send another one, but I'm really, really sorry that I missed it. It's very kind of you. Very kind of you indeed. 128k XP until we get level 83. Woodcutting is a long, long ass skill to train. Thank you, Lily. Thank you, Ariane. Thank you, Mimin. Now I just want to cuddle on your lap while you play RuneScape and whisper the words from the construction tab into my ear. That's very sweet of you to say. Thank you. Even if you called me up for an A for APA citations like my professor. Honestly, while I was in college, I actually found like referencing really satisfying in a weird way. I felt like if I ever finished a paper, the referencing was like a victory lap, you know? Like once I was all finished, it's like, oh, now I get to do a bunch of like, I get to make a satisfying looking list of references and be like, I don't know why, I always found it really satisfying, you know? I was just like, oh, I get to do my references now. I'm all done. I get to do my references. I don't know why. It felt, like I said, it felt like a victory lap, you know? Norin, Black Cat, thank you. Denshi, thank you very much. Connie and Fuma, thank you very much. Just want to have some good time, feel happy, and go to work the next day. Yeah, just want to relax in the evening and enjoy something that's pretty sus. I mean, it's like, it's what the entire hentai industry is based on. It's animated so that people can explore kinks and experiences that don't really work in real life. Because most people are smart enough to realize that it's not fucking real, and if anyone watches hentai and thinks it's real, is either going to be wildly disappointed by their first sexual experience, or is going to jail. And if they do wind up going to jail, then I mean, I guess that's all the better for the rest of us. Sweet 16 Toy, thank you for the X super, thank you for those words, appreciate your streams. Mwah, thank you very much. Young Alex, thank you for the Aka super, mid love, sending you sweet soft kisses. I could definitely use some. Thank you. And Celia, thank you very much as well. It reminds me of an experience I had recently, and I'm going to talk about something quite adult, and so I'd like to ask that, just in case there are any minors straggling in the chat, please don't listen to me, right? You know, I sort of came from a situation where I was very, like, I didn't really have much patience for interests I didn't really understand, you know, especially on like the old internet where it would be like, oh, furries cringe, this is cringe, that's cringe, 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 and I was sort of a victim of that. Like I used to listen and I would be like, well, I don't like that, oh, that's weird, that's weird, that's weird, and I never really understood it. And then I had a conversation with someone. I'm not sure if I had a conversation or if I read it somewhere, but it really changed my perspective on like the reasons why people enjoy things sexually. There was it was either a post by a woman or I was talking to a woman, but she was mentioning why so many women have developed an interest in CNC, which beforehand I was genuinely like, that's fucked up, never gonna touch it, leave me alone, don't, like, that's fucked up, that's weird, why would you like that, right? And then they explained that actually, you know, during their upbringing, what they would experience is this thing where if they want to have sex, they're called a slut, and if they don't want to have sex, they're called a prude. There is a minute hair's difference where like between the two, and no matter what you're into, you get shamed for it. No matter what you enjoy, you get shamed for it. You know, it's like if it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to express my sexuality. Oh well, then you're a slut. Oh well, maybe I don't really feel like okay. In response to that, in order to be accepted, I won't have sex, and someone else calls you a prude. So what it results in is that in that fantasy, having control taken away with you alleviates the guilt that's been hammered into you during your entire life, and finally you get a chance to enjoy something. Now, me personally, I never want to go near that kind of an experience with a 10-foot pole. I could never act like I was acting without someone's consent. That would make me feel so ill. But if someone wants to, in a controlled and safe environment where consent is agreed upon beforehand, then they can do whatever they want. And I finally understood that sexual expression, even in a way that some people find to be really reprehensible, as long as the most important part, the absolute most important part, is that both parties outside of the bedroom consent to everything that goes on, and that safe words are in place, then people should really be allowed to do what they want, as long as they follow the law and respect each other's boundaries, you know. And so I personally, will I ever go near that kind of sexual fantasy? Probably not. Especially not in an ASMR. I think that today was pushing it for me, and that would be too far. I would really not want to go for that kind of an experience. It's too much for me. But I think this person might be a kindred. But truthfully, if someone else wants to get on with that, if someone wants to have fun in their own way, to kind of deal with an experience that isn't, you know, something that they've been able to experience in other parts of their life, then they can do what they want, as long as they're sensible and obey the law and have respect for their partner, you know. Consent is the sexiest thing in the world. And for me personally, one of the biggest turn-offs in the world when I'm watching porn is if one of the people doesn't seem like they're into it, you know? Like, I don't know. For me, a very, like, well-acted and sort of noisy porno where one person is really, you can tell from the way they're vocalizing it and from the way their body's moving that they really, really, really love it. I think that's so much more enjoyable to me than someone who's just kind of, you know, taking it because they feel like they have to. I mean, some people are going to be into that, and if you are, then, like, go for it. But, you know, I like it when both parties are just, you know, absolutely unstoppably into each other. I think that's the best part of all. Thank you, Moin-chan, for the super. Thank you, Tamamaki, and thank you, Elysian, and May, and Mama Kaneshiro, and Eleanor Erbach, and Hope on the Street, and Fukai Masaki, and Caitlin Struss, Shang, and Rebecca M. Thank you very much. Kumaki, thank you very much for the super. Fujojo, that's a great name. There's a book called My Secret Garden by Nancy Friday, and about how women experience sex fantasies. It's worth a read. Maybe I should read that, yeah. Yaru, thank you very much for the super as well. Good night, I hope you sleep well. Joxanne, thank you for the Yak super. Gentle forehead kiss. The One Piece is real. And Navi, thank you very much for the super. Miss Munchkins, thank you. Now, if there was one thing in this ASMR that I really enjoyed. It'll be because remember we did that quizzes stream a long time ago where I did a load of different quizzes, and one of them was the BDSM test, and there was one question that I like really had to stop and think about, and I was like, oh, that's good. And it was enjoying when your partner looks at you in fear. I was like, oh, yes. And something about just, I was obviously, because when I do ASMR I visualize this the content very thoroughly, and I can't, that's just how my brain works. They create a visualization of what's going on, and so obviously, you're slapping the shit out of somebody. I just imagine what was going on, and I was like, shit. I was definitely enjoying the first part of it. I had to kind of like put effort in, during the last part, because I knew that would be an interesting plot twist and an interesting next part of the series, but it definitely wasn't something that I would personally want to happen. But I still wanted to kind of go that extra mile because I knew people would probably want to see that, Thank you, Monchan. Thank you, Dean. Thank you very much. I guess it's also interesting because you really shouldn't, Roberta, thank you for the super, and Kalikia, thank you very much. I think a lot of the time I tend to be very, if we were to have a primal quote-unquote ASMR, it would need to be the werewolf one for Halloween. So thank you for the Akasupa. Thank you for today's ASMR. I really enjoyed it. Your performances are amazing. Thank you so much. Kat, thank you very much. If I was to say anything, I think that, what am I trying to say? I think we need to accept that some people will always be weird about other people's interests, and the best thing that we can do is just stick to ourselves, I mean, it's not as though someone's wrong to be weirded out by another person's interests, but it does kind of, I don't know, it definitely annoys me when people feel like they can kind of throw their weight around and sort of say, no, you shouldn't like this, you shouldn't like that. It's like, actually, no, there's nothing in the world, as long as it's legal, that you could ever say that someone else isn't allowed to enjoy. Chloe DS, thank you very much for the super. How do I think about a tail plug? As long as you're the one wearing it. Severdisiac, thank you. It's nice to have such a thoughtful discussion of kinks and stuff. Sexuality is so weird, and it doesn't do anyone any good to shame themselves for just feeling something. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Severdisiac, and I agree. It's like its sexuality is the strongest thing, unless obviously some people exclude it. Obviously there are asexual people, and that's all completely valid. But for a lot of people who aren't that way, sexuality is the most powerful thing that we can experience. It's literally, human beings are, first and foremost urge is to reproduce, and having interests informed and kinks and stuff informed by our lived experiences is not wrong. It's just who you are. And for my money, like I've already said, as long as you're over the age of 18 and you can practice those interests safely without breaking the law and without hurting anybody else, then who should anybody try to stop you? I don't think so. Ace acknowledged. Surprising that, I don't know. I'm glad you guys are happy that I'm acknowledging you, but it also makes me, there's a fucking bot, it also makes me sad that it's sort of such a victory. I mean, you guys should be acknowledged all the time without, without needing to sort of beg for it. You guys deserve visibility. So does everybody. Where's the bot? Get that shit out of here. Oh, that's the poll. Should we allow players with 290 quest points to complete the Lumbridge without having to unlock the quest cape? Hold on a minute, I have to vote on this one. That is a big no from me. I had to get my fucking quest cape fair and square. I had to get my quest cape fair and square. You go in there, The urge to type "acknowledge me, daddy" as a joke almost overtook me. Kyo Kaneko, I acknowledge you, my boy. Don't worry about it. Did you enjoy the stream? So a giant essence pouch to go into the rift loot table? Sure. Should we add the option to repair your essence pouches? Sure. Should we remove some of the vegetation surrounding the fairy wings at the Tower of Life? Oh, fucking yes, please. That shit is annoying. Should we allow you to use a Torstal potion as an alternative to a Torstal when making Antivenom Plus? Yeah, that makes sense. Should we change the drop rate of the stale baguette? No. Keep my stale baguette rare. Should we allow the Sandwich Lady to give you a 1/64 chance to receive the stale baguette when she asks you to pick a baguette? Now that is fun. Should we change the drop rate of the Jar of Darkness from 1 in 2,500 to 1 in 200? Yes, the Jar of Darkness should not be that rare. I was asleep for it, Lamau, but here I am, and I'm now acknowledged. Kyo. Kyo being VOD gang. You hate to see it. Meowpuff, thank you for the super. I'm doing my best to be inclusive, yeah. It's difficult because, like, I don't know what everyone's experiences are. I mean, there are more than 1 million Kindred now, and all of them have different experiences. All of them have wildly different thoughts and experiences, and I want to cater to all of them, and I want to make everyone feel like they're welcome here. You know, unless they're being a meanie head, but a super vanilla ASMR. Now, I mean, if you want super vanilla, the first boyfriend ASMR, and even to an extent the second boyfriend ASMR, are pretty vanilla. There's like, they're sussy in a little way. Like, the second one has some sexy stuff in it, but it's mostly just nice cuddling and kissing and all that kind of stuff, and I think that's pretty cool, you know? Should Charlie the Tramp's beginner clue steps allow the player to give him items they've prepared in advance instead of forcing to fish and cook new ones? Oh yes, that was annoying. Should we remove the random cycle delay when mining ores? I don't know what that is. Should we remove the price scaling mechanic from the iron version of the Blast Furnace shop? Allow iron players to buy and sell at a fixed price? I'm not an Iron Man, I don't know what that means. Should mining gloves be stored? Yes. If poll question 12 parts, should we include a space for all 3 versions of the mining gloves? Yes. Should we allow players to store the fish sack barrel in the player-owned house? Yes, please. Should we enable the special attack orb in the wilderness? I'm not a PvPer, so I don't know, but yes. Alright, we did it. We did it. That's alright, Code Buns. I'm glad you feel that way. And Nocturne, thank you for the Aka Super. Very generous. Thank you so much. Medley Adler, thank you for the super as well. I was going to say something, but I can't remember what it is. Oh, that's what it is. Right. So I'm aware there's been a bit of discourse in the community recently, because I don't ego search, but sometimes Twitter just sometimes knows what to show you. It'll give you the "you might like," and suddenly a tweet that someone definitely didn't want me to see will wind up on my timeline and I'll see it. I'm aware there's been some discussion about the whole Votum fandom, and I just wanted to say a couple words just to kind of put any debate to rest. So, here's the thing. You guys have seen my BDSM test results. You know very well that's not what I'm into. And the most that I can really do, the most that I will ever really be do to satiate that fandom is to have the odd ASMR where I have moments of being overpowered, but truthfully, an entire ASMR where that's how I'm acting is not something that I would be comfortable doing. That said, the way that you view me is not, it's kind of my business, but it's also not. What I will say is that if you want to depict me in that way, in fan art, in fan fiction, if that's just how you find me attractive, then go for it, right? You can view me in any way that you want. Now, I'll admit, sometimes it's a little embarrassing to sort of open Twitter and suddenly see out of me getting full Nelson, but I think I'm aware that it comes with the territory. I mean, I've had worse, believe me. I'm aware that it comes with the territory of being not only a VTuber who's pretty popular, but also a VTuber who encourages discussion of sexuality. You can draw and view me in any way that you want, and you also, you know, but what I will ask is maybe don't just try your best to leave me out of it, okay? I do have boundaries, and that's one of them. You know, like I said, I've thought long and hard about that kind of thing, and everyone's like, oh, I view him in this way. He's this to me, he's that to me, and if I am that to you, that's fine. But you know, trying to kind of force that on me is a little much. So what I'll say is that, you know, view me in any way you want, draw me in any way you want. If you enjoy the idea of me getting absolutely dominated, then you can go ahead and do whatever you want with that. Just try, obviously if I wind up seeing it's my fault, but try to put it in a place, like tag it properly, put it under the porn tag, and just leave it at that, right? That's that. And also, because I've seen some of it, it doesn't bother me so much, but it's still just like, you know, it's not the nicest thing in the world to have to see. But of course, I'd say putting it under the porn tag is completely fine. I really don't want you guys to worry about it too much. And that said, on the other side of the coin, please leave VOTM artists alone if you're not interested in that, right? I've seen some people who sort of have been going out of their way to kind of say, oh, he's not comfortable with this, he's not comfortable with that, which is true, but it shouldn't manifest itself as, oh, I'm going to cause artists in the community grief. It shouldn't manifest as, oh, I'm going to use this as an excuse to attack some people. You know, I really don't want that to happen, because if someone has an interest in that kind of kinky shit, if someone has an interest in me in that position, as much as I might not enjoy that, if they enjoy it, it's their business, and that is for them to enjoy. If they post it somewhere, then just, and you don't like it, just leave it be. I mean, this is the advice I've been giving to you guys for ages. If you don't like something, just let it be. You know, because there are probably a lot of people out there, unless it's genuinely the worst, most morally reprehensible shit you've ever seen that needs to be called out, just leave it alone, you know, because there's nothing wrong with art of me taking somebody's cock up my ass. There's nothing really wrong with that. I might not enjoy seeing it, and I might see it and be like, ugh, but that doesn't mean that I'm gonna go to that artist's house and be like, listen, you take it down right now, you son of a bitch, how dare you? You know, I have pretty terribly low self-esteem, but I ain't that insecure. So please, just be good to each other. Like I was saying earlier, just be good to each other. And if you want to draw me as a sussy little bottom, then feel free to, but don't like beg me to do anything related to that on stream, because I will say no. You know, that's a pretty fair boundary, I think. But don't feel like you need to stop seeing me in that way, because your interests are valid and I support them, even if I don't agree with them. About VOTM bantering and calling you bottom in your tweet, are you fine with that? Yeah, I mean, to be honest, if I've said something embarrassing and you want to kind of like bully me a little bit, I mean, you can go right ahead and call me whatever you want. Like I say, I'm not. It's sort of, it's when you're seriously like, oh, can you like make a soft little moan for me, or you know, do this, and it's like, oh, you know, I don't really want to do that. You know, if I want to make a sussy little sound, I'll do it of my own volition rather than what someone tells me to do. But if you want to bully me and you just want to have a little bit of banter, then like whatever, you know. Being raised in the UK, you really can't avoid a bit of banter with the lads every now and again. And if the lads want to call me a bottom, then they're more than welcome to. I will just have to think twice and try to fight back, you know what I mean? Wood chopping, talking about wood. Exactly. I got a Coke earlier and I'm trying to figure out which... Is this one? Okay, that's gold. Nice. Also, what did Kyo say? I was mid-sentence and he said something that people were like, mad respect to my man Kyo. Oh, I can't scroll up to find it. Hatching. Where is it? Kyo gotta go. He said something. Thank you, Shachi. Thank you, Nekosaka. You can retype it, Lama. Hey, do what you want, buddy. It's okay. Also, I'll just do a little bit of a spoiler for you guys. Not next week, but the week after. Wait, people obsessed with top-bottom discussion. I think it's brought up based on stereotypes a lot of the time. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. And I think I'm kind of guilty of that too. Because in a literal sense, all that a top and a bottom are it's purely like a positional thing. It's just describing who takes what role in sex, and the top is conflated with dom and bottom is conflated with sub all the time in this community. But the fact is that that's just, I don't know, different meanings for words do have a point, and I think that, like, if I was to get, like, asinine about it and tried to correct everybody, then I feel like I would just sort of be putting myself on the spot. People can, I think if words take on new meanings, then then it is whatever it is, but I have to agree, it's a little, and I'm kind of guilty of sort of engaging in this kind of, if I'm guilty of engaging in this sort of discourse as well, you know, playing around with these jokes and stuff. I mean, being friends with Mr. and Shoto, like, there's no real avoiding it, or at least, you know, before they both kind of wanted to take a step away from those kinds of jokes, and more power to them. It's difficult to avoid making those kinds of jokes if you want to kind of be a part of that, that sort of a, you know, just make friends with those kinds of people. But also, you know, it's definitely a very dominant form of discussion in the VTuber community, and, you know, it's kind of the first thing that anyone talks about. It's like, are they a top or are they a bottom? And I'm guilty of kind of perpetuating this. You know, I go on about it a lot as well, even though it's really not the most important thing in the world. Yeah, people are definitely very negative towards being submissive. It's one of the reasons why I respect Kenji so much. Like, man, I brought him on under the table, and he, like, accurately described his sexuality with no shame whatsoever. He was like, well, actually, I am a switch, and I choose to be. And I was like, well, shit, cool, you know. It's a real shame that it's seen as, you know, the goat. The goat. I agree. It's a shame, not just because bottoms get bullied, or anyone, or people try to kind of put you in that lens if you ever show weakness. You know what I mean? I mean, here was my experience with it, right? I went from being, what, like, when I first debuted as being like this daddy dom figure, and then I showed emotion on stream. Like, I cried on stream and I started opening up more, and the instant I showed emotion, people were like, oh my god, he's my wife, oh my god, he's a needy little boy, I want to fuck him. And I'm just like, huh? You know, it's definitely like a strange thing where it almost feels like if you personally are a top and you want to present that way, that opening up in any way, it's like a battle to avoid being cast with a sexual identity you don't have. You know, and I want to tell myself the reason people are so desperate to put me in that role is because they just want a single dub. They want one thing to hold over my head, and they won't get one. But it's probably not that deep, you know. I am needy, but at the same time, like, I have feelings too, you know. Being a top and strictly a very sexually dominant person based on my preferences and nothing else. You know, I shouldn't have to try and justify that by being closed off and unemotional. I'm a very sensitive person. I'm a very sensitive person. I get excited by video games. I'm emotionally attached to a monkey plushie. But I am who I am. And I know what I am. I know what I'm interested in, and I know what I like, and I know what I don't like. And having those interests, you know, and then suddenly becoming a little vulnerable doesn't, you know, I don't know. I should probably stop complaining about it, because the internet is the internet, and they'll see me however they want, and that's valid. But it does still bother me a little bit that it felt like there was a huge change to the way that I was perceived when I started opening up more, you know. Bottom should be confident too, and top should be allowed to be vulnerable. Just because, just based on whether or not you give and receive in the bedroom doesn't mean that you doesn't have any kind of impact on the person that you can be. You know, the person you are in the sheets doesn't have to determine who you are in the streets. And that goes for tops and bottoms. That goes for people who love to receive and people who love to give. It's just the way it works. You can be a soft, anxious, nervous person who, you know, is sensitive about a lot of different things, and then you can be a top, or you can be very socially confident and powerful and, you know, really unapproachable, and then you can be a bottom. Like, both of them are very ordinary ways to be, and I know that most people are just sort of taking the little snippets of my real personality that they see on stream and trying to place a role on me, which is fine, because it's what you enjoy. But I also don't like the amount of people who are sort of typecast, you know. Yeah, not many people have heard of the power bottom, and not many people have heard of the service top, but, you know, it is what it is. Yeah, just do what I like and ignore what I can't, and ignore what I can't change. No, you're so right, Arabella. Thank you for the super. Aikaj and Michikatsu, thank you very much. And yes, you're welcome to, also, you are welcome to call me whatever you want. Like, something might not be 100% my favorite thing. You know, I might find being called daddy to be like the most gratifying thing, but if you want to call me wife, or if you want to call me baby girl, or if you want to call me something else, it's still nice to have someone view you with a little bit of, it's still nice to have someone view me with affection, you know. If you see me as one of those things, and you can call me whatever you like, I'm here to make you happy. What did Kyo say? What did Kyo say? People need to mind their own business and not force roles onto people, yeah. Put roles onto people in your own mind. If you think a fanfiction about me wearing little flowy panties and being all needy and submissive is your cup of tea, then you go ahead and you make that. You commission artwork. You hire a voice actor to play me in the animated version of the very lengthy visual novel about this exact fantasy that you have. But don't try to make me be a part of it, you know? Don't try to change who I am. I know what I am, and who am I? I am a guy who discusses the deep and intricate feeling of being sexually analyzed by the VTuber community while I chop down yew trees in a game made for children more than 20 years ago. That is who I am. That's what I be, with an M, with an I, with a K, with an E. That's what I am. That's what I be. A hip hop hap. I'm giving you all the Michael Rosen rap. I was born on the 7th of May. I remember very well that awful day. I was in my mother, curled up tight, although I have to say it was as dark as night. Suddenly I hear the doctor give a shout. One push, Mrs. Rosen, and he'll be out. I tell you, that was a puzzle to me. I shouted out, how'd you know I'm a he? The doctor said, good lord, he can talk. I popped up my headset and I watched me walk. I juked and jived around that room. Balam bam Buddha, balam da diddy boom. A hip hop hap. I'm giving you all the Michael Rosen rap. How the fuck I remember all of that? I don't remember the, when I was one, I did when I was two, I did I don't remember past that point, but I remember that middle bit. Guys, you can't be sheeshing to me remembering the Michael Rosen rap. It might be it's like a fucking nursery rhyme, but thank you very much. I'm glad you enjoyed the Michael Rosen rap. It's my favorite rap song. You got a list of all the greatest rappers of all time, and at the top, Michael Rosen. Hang on, what are the lyrics to that? I'll do the entire thing. Why not? Oh, excuse me. It's not that long. You may think I'm happy, you may think I'm sad, you may think I'm crazy, you may think I'm mad, but hang on to your seats and listen right here. I'm gonna tell you something that will burn your ear. A hip hop hap. I'm giving you all the Michael Rosen rap. I was born on the 7th of May. I remember very well that awful day. I was in my mother, curled up tight, although I have to say it was as dark as night. Nothing to do, didn't want to breathe. I was so happy, didn't want to leave. Then I hear some people give a shout, one push, Mrs. Rosen, and he'll be out. I'm telling you, that was a puzzle to me. I shouted out, how'd you know I'm a he? Doctor shouted, good lord, he can talk. I popped out my headset and watched me walk. I juked and jived around that room. Balam bam boola, balam de diddy boom. A hip hop hap. I'm giving you all the Michael Rosen rap rap. When I was 1, I swam the English Channel. When I was 2, I ate a soapy flannel. When I was 3, I started getting thinner. When I was 4, I ate the dog's dinner. When I was 5, I was in a band playing drums. When I was 6, I ate a bag of plums. When I was 7, I robbed a bank with my sister. When I was 8, I became Prime Minister. When I was 9, I closed all the schools. When I was 10, they made me King of the Fools. That's what I am, that's what I'll be, with an M, with an I, with a K, with an E. That's what I am, that's what I'll be, Mr. Mike, Mr. Michael, Mr. Rosen, Mr. Me, a hip hop hat. I'm giving you all the Michael Rosen rap, 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 rap. That was satisfying. I had fun with that. That was nice. Oh no! I spilled. Okay, there wasn't much Coke left. I spilled a tiny bit. I spilled a tiny bit of Coke. There wasn't much left. Thank fuck. Spitting fire. Spilled a tiny bit of Coke, but it's okay. There was like just a little bit. Boom, bam, bada bop boom, pow. Saku, thank you for the super. Nothing wrong with being needy and openly emotional. A lot of people have issues sharing emotions, even myself. I'm so proud of you and how open you're being yourself now. Please treat yourself today. The ASMR was a lot. I am going to treat myself. I'm not sure how, but I will. I'm just wondering. But yeah, I think being open is something that I want to kind of... Monkey nuts. Is that for me? You guys are too much. But I think on the subject of openness, it's a big part of why I want to share my diagnosis. It's a big part of why I think it's a big part of why I want to kind of share my journey and well, thank you. It's a big part of why I really want to share my journey and why I want what am I trying to say here? Because I think that it's been my experience that after I opened up and after I was more vulnerable and people knew more about my mental state, that, you know, got bullied more often, wound up becoming sort of more of a figure of fun, and the way I was perceived changed, and I didn't feel that it should be that way. Now, I'm not here to lament and try to annoy people or sort of beg them to see me differently, because the way you see me is the way you see me, and no one can change that. But I don't know, I can't help but feel like my end goal, just something I'd love to see when I'm years from now, when I'm far beyond all of this and I'm doing something else, you know, ideally maybe I'm ideally I'm sort of doing something in the film industry, maybe I'm doing this, maybe I'm doing that. If I could look at the VTuber community as it's evolved to become, or maybe just streaming or YouTube or whatever it is as a whole, and see more people discussing their problems openly and being accepted for it, you know, less bullying, less this and that, and more really direct conversation about our mental health, then I'd feel like I did the right thing. You know, I'd very much feel like I did the right thing. It's what I want to do, is to normalize that discussion, you know, I know I'm only so powerful, but I do have a pretty big platform. There are a million of you. And if me having issues can inspire some people to maybe seek help on their own, and if me having issues can help some people to grow in their own way, then fuck it, you know? I I'm happy to sort of throw myself on the sword, and if people are going to be shitty with me for a while, they're only on the internet, you know? And I saw one tweet about this where they said, like, maybe they were exaggerating, but I did appreciate the sentiment that by sharing my experiences that perhaps I am saving someone's life. It really kind of shook me, you know, because I think after I shared my tweet that I'd seen my shrink and I'd like gotten close to a diagnosis. I haven't got one yet, but the doctor and I agree that there are two pretty big conditions, one of which makes you more vulnerable to the other one. And I think some people have already guessed what I have, and I won't say until I know for certain, because I don't want to start going out of my way and then maybe have to change things if it turns out not to be true. But I shared that, and some of the discourse around it, all of the discourse has been really positive and supportive. Apart from just, I don't know, 2 or 3 tweets I saw that were just being really nasty, you know, and I shouldn't let that kind of shit get to me, but I do, because I'm sensitive. I saw a couple of people, you know, saying, oh, he's got this and that, and he's using a lot of really nasty words to describe me, and it affected me more than I should have, because I've been in this business long enough that I should know better than when I get recommended a tweet that isn't very nice to just move past it. But it affected me, and suddenly I had this moment where I wanted to kind of turn back, you know. I saw I saw a sign that said point of no return, and I really considered turning around and going home. And then I saw another tweet, which is the one I was talking about earlier, where they said, you know, they had gone around for years untreated and it almost cost them their life, and they brought up a friend of theirs and it actually had cost them their life. And I saw the implication that by encouraging people to seek treatment, that I was maybe indirectly saving someone's life. And I thought, you know what? No. I don't care how people see me. If I open myself to all of the random criticism, and if I open myself to really nasty, vile people online who can say all sorts of terrible things about me, a little bit of misery on my end will feel so worth it if someone winds up getting help they wouldn't have otherwise gotten, you know. And so that's how I feel about it. I think that by being open about my journey, and by being open about the kind of person that I want to be, the kind of person that I have been, if that helps people, then good. Then I'll be happy. And then I'll be satisfied. And that's all. Thanks for all the support, guys. It really makes me happy. Were you going to mention something about next week? I am, yeah. So my plan for next week, what are a few things on my schedule? So 2 things. I have poems to play both, and thanks for all the support, Mary, as well. It's really great to see you here. I have poems to play both Bloodborne and Satisfactory, and so I might do one or both next week. I'm not sure. We need to figure out another ASMR to do. I might give Under the Table a break because maybe drinking to that much excess every week is not so good for me. So I might give it a break next week, but it will be back the week after, because drinking every once in a while is not a problem. So Bloodborne is on the books. Satisfactory is on the books. Minecraft with Remu is essentially because she is like, I don't get it, and I'm like, shut up, bitch, and I'm essentially going to do a solo Minecraft stream, kind of early, and then at around 11 p.m. JST, she's going to hop on her own stream, and then I'm basically going to introduce her to the server and be like, yo, this is how Minecraft works, and then maybe she'll wind up enjoying it just as much as everyone else. Other than that, we need to figure out what ASMR to do for next week, because I don't know. I said I wanted to do something plot related, but what plot could there be? I mean, I guess, you know, actually, next week is kind of the lead up to Halloween. Maybe it's time for the werewolf ASMR, or the mad scientist ASMR. Now, werewolf would be like some primal ass shit, and am I ready for that? Maybe. I'll have to think about it. Oh yes, and we'll reschedule the Drive watch-along to make sure that we can do that next week as well. I'm really sorry for the members that we didn't wind up getting to do that. I love that film, but it did sadly just fall on the same day as my appointments and stuff like that, so I didn't wind up being able to get there on time for it, but it will happen next week, and that sort of thing. The Mad Scientist one is good, but I'd need to think carefully about how to plot that one out. So either Mad Scientist or Werewolf, something like that. King Kong ASMR. Furry Vox, let's go now. You shut your fucking mouth. Do a poll for the ASMR on Twitter. I mean, that's the thing. I think the primal werewolf one would probably be more sus, you know? Like, I like the idea of it, and I like the werewolf voice. It'd be kind of like the dragon one in the sense that it probably wouldn't be binaural, because I'd use my GoXLR to sort of make both ears, to kind of, you know, use my GoXLR to give it an effect, like the because if I tried doing a werewolf voice with just my normal voice, I don't think it would register too well. But then Mad Scientist would probably be more plot related, which I'm in the mood for, but I could always add some plot to the werewolf one. It's difficult. Plus, it's like, I don't know, filling up 2 hours and then ending it with implied sex is harder than it sounds. You know what I mean? Especially when you're a werewolf. I mean, let's be honest, right? If I thought about concept, old sea captain telling story, oh, now that's a good idea. Oh, now that's a really fun idea. So, sea captain telling you about all the monsters he's encountered, but at the end you see that he's a monster. Ooh. But what if I'm the monster? It's been here all along. So what if I'm the monster? You know, if I was to do the werewolf one, I think I would need to do it in stages. I would need to, like, imply cuts and stuff. Maybe it would take place over the course of, like, a week or something. So, because my problem with... thank you. Thanks for the vote, I'll take that into account. If I thought about it, right, if I was to do the werewolf one, the werewolf could not be all one location, because in my mind, if you think about primal ASMR, it's like giving into one's urges and immediately just going ham. You know, I can't see a werewolf being at all gentle. I can't see a werewolf like doing a load of foreplay. I love you too, Apia. I can't see a werewolf doing a load of foreplay and slowly like bringing you towards like an inevitable conclusion. The werewolf would, like, if a werewolf wants to fuck you, he's gonna fuck you without thinking twice about it. So I guess the way it could work is maybe a story evolves where you've got like, maybe you form like a sexual relationship with some sort of an esteemed doctor or something, and then maybe over the course of the ASMR, maybe towards the end of the week, he slowly reveals himself, and then at the final scene, he, like, the full moon comes out, and then it's, like, over quite quickly, you know. I think that might be fun. Kind of like Jekyll and Hyde. Yeah. That might be fun. And then with Mad Scientist, I like the idea of, hi chat, what did I walk into? Oh, we're theory crafting for next week. I want to do a Halloweeny ASMR. But then the Mad Scientist, I like the idea of a very tragic character who sort of builds the listener out of body parts because he's lonely and wants to, like, be with you. And I think I would make it very, like, a plot driven and romantic. I don't know, maybe you push him off a cliff at the end or something like that. You know, maybe something like that, and maybe it's like very, very dramatic. I think I'd enjoy that. Zombie Apocalypse would be good because I could do, like, the radio voice or something like that. Yeah, like, you become the bride of Frankenstein, and the ASMR artist, me, is all like, finally, spooky bedtime story ASMR. Now that would be really fun. Maybe I could do that on the Monday, because Sunday is ASMR day, and I feel like a perfectly say-so sort of scary story ASMR might not go down as well as we'd imagine. So, you know, I think there's a tradition that we expect from Sunday ASMR, but on Monday, on the actual Halloween night, maybe we could do some spooky bedtime stories. Freddy Fazbear ASMR. Now that is a good idea. Please a reading ASMR. Yeah, I definitely need to do one of those at some point. I really enjoyed the first two we did. Well, I enjoyed the first one. The second one I couldn't stay awake for. I was trying it and I was like, oh, good night. You actually prefer male ASMR for some reason. Oh, good. I know you've listened to some of mine before, RPR. SCP reading. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That was fun. If I did a spooky stories one, I would want... If I did a spooky story one, I would want to write the stories myself. So, you guys remember the Forest Guardian, right? The Forest Guardian, I made all those stories up by myself. You know, on the fly. I didn't write them. And I remember, like, when I first started the ASMR, I was just going for it. And I started that story about, like, the couple who escaped into the forest with the deer and the bear and the rabbit and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, where the fuck is this going? And I just kind of kept winging it, like, over and over and over again. I was like, and then they did this. And you guys were like, ooh. And I was like, and then they did this. Ooh. You know, I almost want to try that again if I did a scary stories ASMR and just kind of make shit up as I go along. Maybe it could be like, I don't know, there's some meta story to it. So maybe you're kidnapped, right? Maybe you've been kidnapped by some kind of a killer or whatever it is, and the killer is like trying to sort of calm you down, and he's like, oh, listen, I've got a story for you. I've got a story for you. And he starts reading it, but like in a humorous sort of way. He doesn't actually have a story at all, and so he starts making it up. It's like, and then there was a ghoul, and I kind of make stuff up like on the fly without really thinking about it. I don't know. Hannibal ASMR. I wish I could do a Mads Mikkelsen voice. I wish so badly. He's so hot. I wish I could do a Mads Mikkelsen voice, but I don't. You know, he's got a very distinct voice. If I could recommend a Mads Mikkelsen film, I watched Another Round or Druk with my mum, and it was a very, very good film. Why am I so good with coming up ideas? I don't know, bro. These are all just concepts. It's fleshing them out that's difficult. reading with hand cam. Now that would be fun if I just had books and stuff, and that would be nice. I wish... Oh, God. Sadly, I don't believe we have... I don't believe Lovecraft is in the public domain, but if I could spend a whole stream just reading Lovecraft stories, I would love that so much. Just to get assets made, like a spooky house, or whatever it is, and then just sit there with a book and be like, ah yes, Nyarlathotep, or ah yes, Azathoth. Lovecraft is in public domain? I thought we checked. Hold on. I don't think it is. I really don't think it is. Oh. Call of Cthulhu is in the public domain. I don't believe... I used to have a book, like a complete collection of Lovecraft stories, and I would really like to read them. It's got such an interesting way of viewing horror, you know? I would love to read some Lovecraft. I think that would be great. No, you don't understand. The horror I wrote of is indescribable. And the person draws a picture of Cthulhu and he's like this. Oh shit. I'll have a think about it. There's lots to consider for the ASMR this week, but we will figure it out, certainly. But yes, the big thing for this week, I'm going to play some more horror games. I think I might try and finish Madison. Because I think the first time I was just feeling down, like that day, I was just like, bruh, I don't want to play this fucking game. I'm bad at puzzles, and I wanted to give up, and I wasn't trying hard enough. But I reckon if I finish it, I might change my mind about it. So we might finish Madison. I'd like to play... I might try and set up a bit of a group horror collab, because I've never played Friday the 13th. We might also return to Ultimate Custom Night, because I never really got very far with that. But Ultimate Custom Night, it's like, I feel like we've reached the soft cap for what we're really able to do. You know, Ultimate Custom Night, we've dealt with all the animatronics, like 30 at once, but the difficult ones, you know? So I'm going to try and do some scary games, but I'm not really sure which scary games to do. I want to be able to play Scorn as well, but I don't know if we have perms for that yet, so I'm just waiting for that to come through. But when it does, I'll definitely play Scorn. Scorn looks really good. Ultimate Custom Night would be good. I wonder if I can get perms to play a FNAF fan game. Joy of Creation is really fucking scary. Joy of Creation is a really well-made FNAF horror game, but it's so hard. To be honest, I don't know if I really want to play Joy of Creation. It just looks like it'd be too much for me, to be honest. Those jump scares are pretty vile. Those jump scares are pretty nasty. Theo Angelo, thank you for the Akasupa. I've been super excited for the Crazy Scientist or Psychopath Killer ASMR since the idea was brought up months ago. Psycho Killer ASMR. I feel like that might hit a little too close to home because of the people who've been traumatized by today's ASMR. But maybe another time. What about the FNAF VR that got cancelled? Bro, I don't want to play that again. I really don't want to play FNAF VR anymore. That game hurts to play so much. That game hurts so much to play. Misty, thank you for the super. That game, I don't know what it is. VR horror, it just absolutely plants its fingers in my ass and pulls my scent out. I just don't want to go for that. I really don't. It hurts. The Juniors fan game does look good. And Chipper and Sons, whatever it is, apparently that fan game is really good. Soma might be good. I know Folga played that, so I should maybe check that out. We've got someone in-game who's found me. A big smooch for everyone. Of course. Nun Massacre I've never played. I should probably give that a try. Still anxious, Lama. Maybe we need something soft and emo. Mad Scientist creating someone because lonely hurts good. That might be nice. Yeah, I think I'd like that. Something that's sort of very dark but also quite cute and cuddly would be good. It's like, oh, I've been so lonely for so long. I finally have you, my love. Oh, my love, and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Nun Massacre was the one that almost made Shu swear, and he's like, oh my, I almost cursed. Whenever I try to do a Shu voice, I sound like I'm from Minnesota. Aye, oh heck, you better watch out what's going on over there. Oh heck. You guys ever seen Fargo? Oh heck. Alright, so what you gotta do is you gotta head down to that there airport. You're gonna wanna catch a plane and hightail it the hell out of there. Alright, welcome back. I'm a Kermit. Hey, that's a Minnesotan accent, don't you know? That's fucking Irish. I can't say "don't you know" without being Irish. Hey, that's a Minnesotan accent, don't you know? No, that's Irish. Hey, that's Irish. That's not a Minnesotan accent at all. Kermit ASMR. I need to figure out what I'm gonna do for fucking April Fool's Day. You know, I need to figure out what I'm doing for April Fool's Day, because I want to do an ASMR on April Fool's Day, but what'll it be? I don't know. Something. And top of the morning to you, laddies. My name is Jacksepticeye, and welcome back to Undertale. Blue Ball ASMR. You just had Blue Ball ASMR. You just had it. Here's the thing. What if Professor Akuma gets caught and then you have to meet Lawyer Akuma? Better call Vox. If I had my GoXLR plugged in right now, you know I was reaching for that sound effect. Hi, I'm Vox Akuma. Did you know that you have rights? Well, Constitution says you do, and so do I. I believe that until proven guilty, every man, woman, and child in this country is innocent. And that's why I fight for you, Albuquerque. Better call Vox. The lawyer is a werewolf. Ah. That might actually be a good way of playing into it. Maybe you genuinely go and see a lawyer, and I try to be a smooth-talking lawyer. It's like, well, you see, yeah, you see, you know, all right, well, what you're dealing with there is a very easy lawsuit and a nice cash settlement is what you're talking about. And then you start a relationship with the lawyer, and then the lawyer becomes a werewolf. Isn't that great? Do a 50 Shades script read as a try not to cringe challenge. I would love to beyond anything, but I think it's pretty much still copyrighted. I mean, E.L. James is still very much alive and well. Misty, thank you for the super, and Saku, thank you very much. All the trash talk. Everyone likes soft Vox a lot. I like soft me as well. Handcam knitting, I do need to do that. I do need to do that. You can write some really sussy name for the April Fool's one. Just do another type of stream or a funny ASMR instead. I'll do ASMR that's like just sex ASMR, like unpaused 2-hour long session of rough genital smashing, and then when it gets to it, how do I make a play on words for that? How do I make that how do I make that not true and just funny? Like maybe it's goblin mode off. Maybe I'll make an ASMR called like dogging ASMR, but then it's just me booking out like a dog from the local shelter and taking care of it for the day and being like, "Oh, you go, boy. Wait. You know? POV, you are a dog. Who's your good boy? Who's your good boy? But then the unfortunate thing is my room gets very hot, and I wouldn't want the dog to be uncomfortable while I'm doing ASMR, so maybe not. Making mac and cheese ASMR. That's it. That's it. I say making mac and cheese, and then it is the sax. Oh my god. Now Taylor ASMR, I do need to do that. I do need to do that. Walter White ASMR. Walter White teaches you how to cook meth. Mate.
Jesse, you brought an RV with the wrong ingredient.
Oh, Mr. White, it's up my nose, Mr. Witter. I'm taking away your Steam account, Mr. White.
Alright, Jesse. Today, I know you're feeling upset. But I need you to apply yourself. Today, we'll be learning how to make my formula. Do you understand? Good. Yo, bitch. I already know how to make your formula. No, Jesse. But the listener, they don't. They don't know how to make my formula. And someone has to take along my work after I'm done. Right, whatever, bitch. Just make it quick. The first thing we need is a barrel of methylamine. Walter, please tell me you didn't piss on Gustavo's car, Walter, please. I don't know, Luxiem.
Jesus. Eva Punk, thank you. Michelle Mabel, thank you. Louis, thank you. Yeah, I'll do sex ASMR, but then I just play the goofy ass sound effects library. Hold on. Oh no, wait, that's not it. I play that on loop for like a good however long. I think I could do ASMR with the crappiest mic ever. Kind of like how Mister did it. You know, I would actually, you know, Alban did the whole like gamer boyfriend ASMR, like by being all sort of funny about it. But I'd like to do gamer boyfriend ASMR for real, you know. Kind of like the Demon Daipan ASMR I did, but more in a roleplay setting, like you're curling up and putting your head on your boyfriend's lap while he plays a game and gets tilted, and you just sort of listen to me play games and all that kind of stuff. You know, I would sit there and play Smash with the controller clicky and just try to have some fun, and then I'd sort of lean down and kiss you every now and again and be like, oh, I love you so much. I think that'd be really fun. But yeah, thanks for all the help today, guys. It's getting really hot in here, so I think I'm going to call it a day for that. But thank you very much for paying attention. Thanks for giving me some space to play some RuneScape. I had a really nice time. And thank you also for staying up so late to spend some time with me. I really, really appreciate it. And I hope that you guys can sleep well and tackle it, whatever it is you have to do tomorrow. I really enjoyed talking with you guys today. I really enjoyed the ASMR, even if it did leave me feeling a little shaken up afterwards. Glad you enjoyed it, and I'm really glad I was able to push myself as a performer. I had so much fun making you guys happy, horny, whatever it was, and I look forward to enjoying the rest of the week with you. So I'll see you soon. Bye-bye! Zook.